So everyone thinks that they know the pros and cons of living in Columbus, Ohio, right? They're gonna tell you about the affordable housing, the Buckeyes, and the Midwestern charm, right? Like this, there are things here that no one absolutely talks about, things that could honestly make or break your stay in Columbus, Ohio. We're talking about things that real estate agents won't tell you, the moving blogs never ever mention, and honestly things that even locals go, dang, I forgot about that. Listen, I've got clients of mine that have moved here a long time ago, and they're still just discovering things about the city that they had no idea about. And we're not just talking about the obvious stuff, right? Bad weather, and maybe some traffic here and there. We're talking about the weird, the wonky, the wonderful, and sometimes the frustrating stuff about Columbus, Ohio that I wish someone had mentioned when we moved here. So Columbus, grab your Jenny's ice cream because we're gonna talk about the weird and the wonky right now. Now listen, what I've noticed is a lot of people base their move here off the surface level stuff. Jobs, schoolings, and honestly, houses. Those aren't things that are gonna make you either love or hate Columbus, Ohio. Those are pretty surface level stuff, right guys? So let's get started with something that sounds great in theory, but could actually drive you crazy in practice. Guys, the first pro is gonna sound crazy to people from the big city, and it's this: everyone knows everyone. I know what you're thinking, oh great, we've got some small town gossip here, but let me explain, hear me out. Columbus has this unique, ubiquitous nature in which it's a big enough city that you can actually do things and have opportunities, but it's also small enough that you're gonna see your kid's teacher on a Target run. You're gonna see your client 2 years ago maybe just going on a bike ride, and your dentist just happens to be your neighbor's brother. Yeah, that's the things that we're working with right here. Now hear me out guys, because I know it sounds overwhelming at first, but it's actually gonna create massive opportunities that most people never even think about. I've had clients of mine move here a little while back, move here from LA specifically. She met a friend at a soccer game. Her friend actually just happened to be someone that helped her land a job that changed the entire trajectory of her career field. It's not just business either, right? Let's say you need a contractor that's not gonna rip you off. Your cousin's friend, yeah, that's the guy. You need a babysitter, you just hit up your neighbor. Let's say your car breaks down, the mechanic's brother-in-law, that's the guy that you go to. It's people that genuinely care, that are here to take care of you the long run. Honestly, I tell all my clients, it's kind of like car insurance, right? Like you never think that you need car insurance until you need car insurance. It's the same thing with networks and connections right here in Columbus, Ohio. You're never gonna know when you need this or that network, but it just happens to be that they're gonna be there for you right at time. Now listen, everyone complains about the Ohio weather, right? When you're in Cleveland, you got lake effect snow. When you're in Cincinnati, it's muggy as heck. But let me tell you, Columbus is the Goldilocks of Ohio. And I mean that in the best way possible. We've got it just right. And I know what the comments are gonna look like. Oh my God, what are you talking about? The weather sucks here. Listen, compared to the rest of Ohio, I actually think we have the best all-around weather here. I'm actually a client of mine that reached out from Arizona. And if you know anything about Arizona, you know one thing. You can go out twice a week, and that's about it. He said, Gagan, it's actually super nice here. I'm surprised that the humidity isn't as bad as I thought it would be, that the weather actually has all 4 seasons, whether that be you're getting all of it in 1 day or 1 week, that's a moot point. What I'm trying to say is this: I actually think that Columbus's weather is far better in precedent than any other location here in Ohio. I tell you, my parents are exact opposites. My dad loves the cold and my mom hates the cold. Both of them are actually able to get by, for the most part, here pretty well. And what's nice about the weather is that it's not this one singular thing. It's actually a myriad of different temperatures and different environments. And for me, I personally love that, right? I hate it when it's just one weather all year round. That sucks. I want to wear something like this, especially when it's a little bit chillier outside. I want to wear my muscle tees to show that I've been working out for the last 3 years, and still I don't really have that much muscles, but that's not the point. Okay, what I'm trying to say is if you love 4 seasons, then Ohio, Columbus is perfect for you. Now here's something that's amazing about Columbus, and it's all natural. It's a 15-minute city, and it was actually one of the first 15-minute cities in the entire USA. You know, nowadays when urban planning is trying to create neighborhoods where everything is 15 minutes away, biking, walking, even car rides, Columbus actually did that decades ago. Take any established area and you're about 15 minutes away from grocery stores, libraries, cafes, the whole shebang. I'm not talking about 15 minutes away from the car, I'm talking about 15 minutes away from walking or biking. Clintonville, you can walk to everything. German Village, that's the exact same. Even areas like Worthington and Dublin are being set up this way, especially in areas that are close to the Bridge Park. I've actually had clients of mine that have reached out from Houston and they're like, dude, this is absolutely wonderful. And I'm like, how is this the case? Well, they're living kind of inside the 270 belt, and they love the fact they can actually walk by everywhere. They're actually looking in places like German Village, and it's amazing. Columbus was, again, the original 15-minute city, and I say that with pride. Now, stick around, because there's also a lot of cons to Columbus that we need to cover, right? And one of the other things is, well, traffic. But that's a future topic. We gotta talk about a few more pros. Here's the other major thing that no one really talks about. Columbus has amenities like any other big city. Chicago, we're better. Yeah, I said it. And the nice thing is this juxtaposition. Amenities without the cost. World-class hospitals, check. Multiple major universities creating renowned cultural events, yeah, check mark. Professional sports teams, major concert venues, incredible restaurants, and legitimate art scenes, check, 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 and check. But here's the kicker. You could actually do all these things without having the worry and troublesome nature of parking and traffic. You want to go to a Broadway show? Yeah, the Ohio Theater, you got it in the books. You want to go watch a Blue Jacket game? You can decide at 5 p.m. and still have options. Museums, festivals, food scenes, we've got it all. But that's not all. The people here, yeah, for the most part, they actually want you to try the cultural cuisines. One of my clients actually moved here from DC, and here's what they said. I actually have a better social life here than I did there. That is crazy to me. So when you are thinking about all these things and you're thinking about activities, housing, the whole shebang, there's another thing, entertainment. What does that look like? And honestly, how often can you go do those things without the worry of this or that? You don't want to worry about logistics, I get it. You just want to go out and enjoy the night. Columbus lets you do that. Here's the one thing about Columbus culture that shocks everyone, and it's this. Everyone's from everywhere else. And frankly, I actually really like that. We've got people from the Midwest that came here for college and that have just never left. People from the coast that thought they were going to be working here for 1 to 2 years that stuck around for decades. All because someone is from somewhere else. There's no real Columbus native. And truth be told, as someone that's not a native myself, it's actually pretty cool. It's like this whole city has this immigrant energy, even though we're still talking about the state of Ohio. I had a client of mine that was worried about the social scene. She was from Boston originally. And let me tell you, after 3 months, she made 3 different friend groups from 8 different countries. That is insane to me. And I love the fact that there's always different stories, right? It's like the joke about Pittsburgh. Everyone's from Pittsburgh, or everyone knows someone from Pittsburgh, or when you're out of the country, it's always, oh yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like Columbus is getting the exact same vibe, and listen, I'm all for it. Listen, everyone knows that Columbus is affordable, right guys? But there's one thing that no one tells you. But here's the thing, there's also hidden living benefits, guys, no one actually talks about. Parking, even downtown, is about $5 to $10 for events, whereas other major cities, we're talking about 30 to 40. Listen, I know, I'm not being facetious when I say this. I lived in Denver for 6 months. My parking cost every single month was above $300. Yeah, it's expensive. Restaurants, you can have a great dinner for 2 under $60. And yeah, that also includes the cocktails and this that you'll need tomorrow. Entertainment, we're talking concert tickets, sports tickets, theaters, they're all underpriced compared to other major cities. But here's the major thing, you don't need to spend money here like you do in other expensive coastal areas. We've actually got such a massive terrain here for different activities and different strokes for different folks that you can actually get by for doing it for free. You don't need an expensive gym membership and you've got amazing metro parks. No need to pay premium money for expensive grocery stores when you've got 3 different Krogers all within a 5-minute distance. Also, you don't need to spend a fortune on entertainment when you got free stuff that happens all the time. The last time that I was in Dublin, which was like 3 weeks ago, they actually had a free yoga session there. They invited me, but I'm not really that flexible of a guy, so I was a little nervous and I said no. I should have said yes. I'm sorry. But here's the thing, activities like that exist, I think it cuts the cost of so many different things. It's honestly just awesome. Hey, real quick, listen, if you are moving to Columbus, Ohio and you want the insider scoop, can you do me a favor? Can you just press the subscribe button? We love making these amazing, amazing videos. And listen, if you're thinking about making that move to Columbus, Ohio, whether you're looking to buy or just relocate here, let our team help. We are professional real estate agents in the great city of the 614, and this is exactly what we do for a living. We love making these videos, we do. We would love the opportunity to help you in this migration. Even if you're living in Columbus, Ohio, we'd love to get you exactly where you need to go. The other thing is this, Columbus sits in the perfect sweet spot that most people don't appreciate until they actually live here. We're big enough where you never actually run out of things to do, but also small enough that you have that cohort where you can enjoy opportunities with. You want to check out our new neighborhood? It's a 15-minute drive, not a 2-hour expedition. You want to support a local business? You can actually get to know the owner and go by there every single day and they'll know your order. Make a difference in the community. There's opportunities everywhere. And all you gotta do is just open them eyes and look for them. It's like Columbus is the perfect size human being. It's not too big, it's also not too small. We've had clients of ours that have moved here primarily from Florida and other South markets. And the one thing they tell us is exactly this. You guys gotta realize the pros and cons that we talk about, all of this is literally just sentiments and topics that our clients are telling us. And we're just regurgitating them, man. That's really all there is to it. Super cool that it's not just the fact that it's us telling you these things, it's actually clients that are moving here every single day. All right, guys, let's get serious about the cons. We talked about the pros, and as much as I love to talk about the pros, this is a pros and cons video. There's a lot of things about Columbus, Ohio that you gotta know, and it's not the perfect city whatsoever. You know, one of the biggest realizations that I had in Columbus was after about 6 months of actually living here. One of my neighbors, or so-called neighbors, I thought we were actually in really good terms. I said, hey, how's the day going? Great, all this. They said, Gagan, I'm actually comfortable enough with you to tell you this. And I was like, please do, what's up? He goes, I didn't like you when you first moved here. And I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, I thought you were kind of a prick. I'm sorry, but why didn't you tell me that prior? He goes, oh, I didn't really know you that well. And I get it to a degree, but one thing that I've realized about everyone in Columbus is this behavior is very here. The Ohio passive-aggressive, passive nice is something that you're going to take a long time to get used to, but it's never gonna actually sit well. People will smile and nod at you and tell you that everything is great, and then 6 months later, you've learned that it is not. They're gonna say things like, oh, that's really interesting, and what they mean to say is that is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life, and you shouldn't do that. They'll agree to help you with something, but they'll never actually do it, and you can't even be mad at them because they were just being nice. Here's the flip side of this, is once you actually make connections, you build relationships that are genuine and long-term. My neighbor, love the guy. Dave, if you're watching this, love you, bro. And him and I are on great terms now. But here's the thing, it doesn't always start off that way. And the best way and the best thing for me to say is people in Ohio and Columbus, they're protective, not just of themselves, but also their energy. And that's something that you absolutely have to understand. It takes a long time to build genuine relationships here, even if the social scenes are existent. So all of that are things that you have to add if you're coming here. All right, there's one thing that's really weird about Columbus that I never understood. And it's this right here. Where'd you go to high school hierarchy? And I know it sounds dumb, but it's also real. People will ask you where you went to high school. Upper Arlington, you're automatically wealthy and snobby. Worthington, you're smart and accomplished. Dublin, you've got new money and your parents are trying so hard. Westerville, you got a solid middle class. And if you didn't go to high school here in Central Ohio, good luck breaking into some specific social circles. Now, by the way, I'm not saying live here, I'm not saying live there. That's redlining, and we don't do that in these videos. What I am saying are legitimate things that my clients and I have heard from people that are living in Central Ohio. Seems kind of dumb, doesn't it? But at the same time, it's true. I actually had a client of mine from California. He goes, Gagan, is it normal for people to ask me where I went to high school? And I said, not really, why? He goes, well, he looked all confused and said, you went to high school in Sacramento? And he goes, yeah, that's what happens. What? So at the same time as Columbus is amazing, fine and dandy, please know that as well. And if you get asked that question, don't take it too seriously. Here's the weird part is people don't even realize they're doing it. So these are all things that you absolutely have to take into consideration. Now this one really grits my grind, or grind my grits, one or the other, you get the saying, right? And it's this. Columbus used to be a 24-hour city. When you needed something, you had it. Walmart was 24 hours and now it's not. Columbus shuts down early, and I mean early, guys. If you're a parent of 3 and you're working a 9 to 5 and you just want to come home and relax, this is great. If you want to actually go outside and do something, then yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more troublesome. We're not just talking about bars and restaurants either, we're talking about everything. You need groceries at 10 p.m., yeah, good luck with that. You want dinner at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday? That's not gonna happen. You're probably gonna have to get Taco Bell or McDonald's. And forget about Sunday, half the city acts like Sunday is still 1995. Restaurants close, and even the ones that are open, they act like they're doing you a favor. I've had clients of mine that have come here from, well, areas that have activities, and what they told me is this, it's hibernation time as soon as it hits 9:30. But here's the really annoying part, is some neighborhoods actually have nightlife and things to do in, well, the nighttime, and other neighborhoods don't. Some stores open late Monday through Wednesday and close Thursday through Sunday. You never actually know what you're gonna find out, and truthfully, I find that fun. I've got an adventurous personality, right? If that's not you and you gotta plan out your days like it's 1985, then, you know, this is gonna kinda suck. Okay, well, listen, I know that I said Columbus is really walkable, but that's only for specific neighborhoods, and that's only if you never actually leave them. I know, I get it, and this is the same conversation that I have with all of my clients. Columbus, unfortunately, especially if it's outside in the 270 belt, it's really, really necessary to have a car. Now, for the most part, my clients that are coming here, you've got jobs, you've got kids, and you've got a car. But for people that are just coming here to relocate and they're not worried about this or that, this is not gonna be fun.
Listen, coda does exist, but it's not quite at the level that everyone wants it to be. And whether you're getting a Lyft or an Uber, good luck with that, especially during busy hours and the suburban areas. The main problem is this: everything is just far enough that biking or walking doesn't really just become a casual choice, it becomes a commitment. I've had clients of mine actually move here from Portland, and Portland really isn't car dependent. They said, Gagan, I did not like the fact that I needed to get this and that. Their entire lifestyle had to change, and now they're very, very happy. We talk almost every other day, but for the most part, if these are things that are gonna bother you and you want something walkable, either you're gonna go heart of downtown inside the 270 inner belt, or yeah, you're not gonna have very much luck. Or just live in Dublin and live in Ridge Park and you should be good. And also, don't get me started on OSU's football games. Let me tell you, parking doesn't exist. Parking, what is parking when you're thinking about that? Every single street, every single parking spot will be gone 3 hours prior to the game. People want to watch the marching bands. Everything is gone. Make sure you have all these things into consideration. Now, here's the other thing about Columbus that no one really talks about, and it's this. Once you hit a certain ceiling for your careers, that's where you're going to be limited. Columbus is fantastic if you're in health insurance, government, retail, or just real estate. But if you're in tech, finances, or media, unfortunately, Columbus does have a ceiling. The problem isn't the lack of opportunities, it's the lack of quantity of opportunities. We've got opportunities, but we just don't have that many. You can get senior manager or director level, but if you're looking for C-suite or VP, chances are you're probably gonna have to relocate. Now, here's the other caveat to this, is we do have opportunities. It's not like we don't have anything. Remember, Columbus is the Silicon Valley of the Midwest. We've got a lot of really cool growing industries, but right now, this is something that still absolutely needs working on. And what's interesting about all of this is we have active communications with people from Chicago. And here's the thing, the one thing that we look up, especially when the numbers and the finances and the whole shebang come into play, is this. You're constantly making about 15 to 20% less than you would if you actually were still working in Chicago. Now, the cost of living is way higher, and I get that, but you're also making less. All right, guys, this one is particularly brutal if you are single and you're looking to mingle. Dating pool has some serious limitations, and if you're in the middle of that, this is not gonna be any fun for you. There's actually a few major reasons for this. Number one, people are actually married here prior to the age of 25, and this is a lot more normal than I thought. Reminding me of Bhutan and Nepal all over again. But people go to the same high school, the same college, and they just never leave. Secondarily, the social scenes are actually pretty segregated, and it's by a few major things. And it's actually pretty segregated by a few things: age, income, lifestyle, and honestly, meeting people outside of those specific areas, it's gonna be really hard. Also, the third thing is this, and it's kind of weird. Again, it's not for me, but for my friends and other people that have lived here, here's what I've heard. Everyone's looking to settle down really quick, and casual dating doesn't exist. And hey, listen, you heard it from me, but I'm not the person saying these things. So if you're looking for someone with specific interest or a specific background, then it might be a little bit more difficult. Culture is diverse, but the dating scene is definitely homogeneous. Clients of mine tell me this: it's either college relationships or marriage interviews. Hey, listen, for the most part, this is not that big of a deal, okay? I get that. What I am saying is, and I've heard this because we do have a lot of people that are relocating here that are single, that are working their first tech jobs, that are in finance, and it's like, hey dude, where can I go meet someone? Where can I do this and that? And Columbus it's a little bit more difficult than it may seem. Now guys, I did mention that Columbus's weather is generally decent, but the one thing that I didn't talk about is this: the transitionary period between good and bad. That affects a lot of people. And here's the thing, is I didn't realize how much the weather actually affected me until I started taking vitamin D pills. And let me tell you, it does. It bothers you a lot more than you may think. SAD, or seasonal affective disorder, is a very real mental affliction. You can have a gorgeous 70-degree March followed by a snowstorm. Beautiful fall weather suddenly becomes more snow. Random 90 days in May followed by hours and hours of rain. On the flip side of everyone's from somewhere else, here's the main problem. Columbus has a massive retention problem. If you're not here for a job, college, one of those things, chances are people oftentimes leave. Professionals come here for a few years and then they leave for more opportunities in places like Chicago. College graduates stick around for a while and then eventually leave for a job or just a lifestyle change. And corporate transfers either come or they go. It creates these weird dynamics where you are trying to create these long-term relationships, but they're not ever gonna get that deep. And listen, if you are someone that's looking to stay here the long term, then watching your friends leave constantly, yeah, it kind of hurts. And honestly, it's annoying to a degree. Here's the main thing, right? Every single thing that I say, it has its own idiosyncratic nature. Some people will stay forever. Some people will leave tomorrow. We just don't know. And that's just human nature, right? Like every single point that I bring up here, it's so specific, dude. Like it's so specific for one person. And that's that. Like if this doesn't apply to you, then that doesn't apply to you. And that's perfectly fine. If all of the 15 points that we talked about, none of them apply to you, then that's fine too. Come to Columbus, let us help you, like whatever, you know what I mean? But I want to make sure that we understand both the yin and the yang of living here. Let's talk about a few things. If you value culture and you value real community over just career opportunities, then Columbus is gonna be perfect for you. If you need cutting edge culture and late night energy, then it's gonna be very frustrating here. You want affordable city amenities without that big city charge, Columbus is the place to go. The key is to know what you're getting into even before you come here, right guys? I've seen people that have absolutely loved Columbus not want to make it home anymore. Think about making a move to Columbus, Ohio, or you're already living here and you just want our expert guidance to actually make the move as seamless as possible. All of our information is again down below. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Let's figure this out together so you can ultimately make sure we have the best game plan in store. And listen, by the way, I actually did an entire A to Z playlist about what making that move would look like right here. I'm gonna put that video right here. Watch it and I'll see you soon. Peace.